Yo, 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 yo. You know what time it is, man. It's Burgers and Blitzes every Wednesday. You know what it is. Don't act like y'all don't know. Up in here is Big Game James and it's Mr. Mike White back at it again. You know how we do it. And it's a good day because it's always a good day when the Cowboys win and destroy their opponents. So we definitely like seeing that. Before we jump in, what's up with you, Big Mike?
What's going on, bub? I'm getting double fed for some reason. I figure what the hell's going on.
You say you getting what?
The freaking YouTube still going in my like.
Well, while Mike is doing that and he's going to come back in. What's good, everybody? Let me give a shout out to a few people up in the building already. Rico Jones, my dog, the Ninja, Matty Ice, T Smooth TV, Revel 95, Daniel Barra Sports Highlights, Los Holloway. What's good with y'all? Mike's going to come back in. He's going to come back in right now.
That was crazy. I was getting like triple fed. Like I don't know what the hell was going on, but we wasn't going to be able to run like that anyway. We bet.
We back. What's up with you, David Jenkins? A good shout outs to everybody. So before we start this show, I'm gonna put this link in the description. I'm posting it actually right now. It's a description, and the link is for our GoFundMe fund. Right now, my stepdaughter Natalia Weston, she's 14 years old. She has a trip that she's been, kind of invited to travel Italy and Greece. So right now, we started a GoFundMe. The trip is $6,000. It actually is next year. So what we did, we started a GoFundMe last week. Already been, starting to get the donations rolling in. She's an honor student, been an honor student for 3 years. She has a 3.9 GPA. She's in the band. She's about to be on student council. She's awesome in the band. She's just an awesome young lady. She deserves this more than anything. And, hey, stuff ain't cheap in these streets. You feel me? So, hey, anybody would like to donate for the cause to help get Natty to Italy and Greece? That's a once in a lifetime experience. I've actually lived overseas many a times when I was young, and I will always go back to those experiences when I lived overseas. So it's a beautiful thing. So anything you would like to donate, there's the link right there. I just put it in the description. Go ahead and check it out. And whatever you like to donate, we'll take it. So we definitely appreciate that. So I just wanted to get that out there before we start the show. And now I'm also going to show Big Mike. What's up, Camber? How you doing? And I'm also going to show this, Mike. I'm going to pull this up because this is off the Twitter, and it's going to talk about what we've been kind of talking about before we get into anything else. What's up, Craven? I know you about to do your thing. Shout outs to you. You and Stargazer about to have Cowboys Fan Talk Big Rome on there. So check it out. Check them out as well. They got some stuff going on, and they got a great show between Stargazer and Craven Cowboys Ladies Podcast, killing it. Shout out to you, Craven, for the $5 holla. Always love your support. Really appreciate you for that as well. But let's jump right into this, Mike, because I want to show this. What Marcus Spears says. Obviously, he used to be a Cowboy, so maybe a little homerism. Might be a little homerism, but the thing I want to show more than anything else is what he talks about right here and what we've been talking about and why this team is better. So let me play this right quick, and then we'll kind of get our thoughts on it. Okay, Mike?
Tempo.
Dak is playing the best quarterback right now in the league. Right now, over the last couple of weeks, outside of CJ Stroud. Here's the thing what Dak is doing, though, and the difference, and I love that Nick showed anticipation. He's got back to being athletic. He's gotten back to using his legs. You have to.
Okay, let me rewind that again.
Doing, though, and the difference, and I love that Nick
I heard it this morning.
We're going to hear it again.
He's got back to using his legs. You have
got back to using his legs.
This offensive line hadn't been great,
right?
By the way.
Talk to him, Marcus.
The type of pressure that they're giving up. So I don't like getting into these conversations about is Dak the best quarterback in the league? No, he's not. He's playing the best right now. When we look at this league and we think about, let's just go to the MVP conversation. People ask, is CJ Stroud in the MVP conversation? Yes. Nobody has taken a stranglehold of the MVP yet in the league. So Dak being in the MVP conversation, absolutely. Man, and thrown for damn near 1,000 yards in the last 3 weeks. Yeah. And then you think about what he was able to do in a losing effort towards Philly in the Philly game. He's playing well. He's playing more free to me, and he's using all of his tools as opposed to trying to be something because people have an expectation for him to be this prolific, great passer.
I mean, did he Did he sing it? Do you feel me, Mike? Did he sing it? What we've been singing?
He
Shout
was
out
he
to my
was
dog.
doing so good to that last little part where people expect him to be a great passer. I mean, he's
Well,
arguably
no.
the best passer in the league right now.
Well, I mean, but what I think what he was trying to say was everybody they tried to make him this strictly pocket passer. We saw
Oh
it
yeah,
when Dak wouldn't run out the pocket. He would just stay in the pocket, hold the ball, take a bad sack. That was just not good for us as a whole. And now, but also we can also say he's healthier with his leg now, because we remember 2020 is when he had the injury. 2021 re-injured his leg, and so now he's finally getting back to his athletic self. But more than anything else, he is running. I made a post on my tweet and said the last 4 games, Mike, since we lost in that Philly game or San Francisco game, I'm sorry, 19 carries for 90 yards. Doesn't sound like a whole lot, averaging over like 5 yards carry. Doesn't sound like a lot, but he was not doing
extremely
that
important.
before. Extremely important, because a lot of those weren't design runs. A lot of those were scrambles from pressure, getting out the pocket, and he's not sitting there holding the ball. He sees and goes. Classic examples when he scored that touchdown against the Giants when we were inside the 10. He saw it, looked at it right quick, boom, ran right in there for the touchdown. That's what we've been talking about. So kind of give me your thoughts on Dak being mobile again. We talked about it. It makes the team better. You feel me? But kind of give me your thoughts on this offense and how it's improved so much and Dak using his legs now.
You know, I feel like I'm so scared because this is all I've been asking for over a decade now.
Mm-hmm.
Flip the third and first down passing, please, and watch what happens. And lo and behold, he's playing it. He's playing the best football he's played in his entire freaking career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that part, especially playing the best in his career, especially this last 3-game stretch. I mean, he's been looking just nice. And I know we know the teams that haven't been great, but that doesn't matter. You're still playing against an NFL team and you're still doing that. And then, like we said, you played against the Eagles. You went into Philly and you just did the same thing. You almost threw for 400 against them damn Eagles in that defense. You feel me? He was getting heavily pressured in that game. So it's not like he's doing this against just bad opponents. He did this against good opponents. Obviously, we saw the San Francisco game. I feel like that might have been an anomaly. We got to hopefully see them again. But at the end of the day, this offense, and I'm going to show this as well, Mike, this offense right now, let's show it right here. This offense right now averaging 29, almost 30 a game. You know what I'm saying? almost 30 points a game. And all the criticism Mike McCarthy has gotten, right? We've been going hard on him, and we've been talking about we need to pass more instead of starting that run and being conservative. Now you've seen these last four games, the offense has changed since Cowboys Twitter went ham, and Mike McCarthy looks like he started to listen to those screams and chirps like, hey, you got to this run pass ain't gonna work, dog. You need to open this offense up. You need to let Dak take control like you said, and let this guy cook like you said. And now when he finally pulled the reins off of him, and like you said, we're throwing the ball more, attacking more. We're not being conservative, being more aggressive. Now you see the fruits of the labor for it. What's your kind of thoughts on that?
It's what I've been screaming. I'm so freaking elated. I mean, I'm terrified that it's going to go away because we've seen this before.
Yeah,
we've seen 4 or 5 game stretches of this before.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not to this level, but we've seen this. We've seen it in 2019, and we've seen it in 2018, 2019, and we saw it in 2020 for a little bit before Dak got hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and then it went away before he got hurt. And man, like this is what literally everything I was expecting to see happen when you let Dak pass in more advantageous situations, we've seen happen. And once again, it's a small sample size, but it's basically the same sample size as you had before the bye. I mean, we're rocking off, and I know we play the Giants, whatever, but dude, the kid's playing unreal. He's playing the best football. That pass where he took Dexter Lawrence to the ribs.
Yeah, no, that was nasty.
Dude, that is. And here's the thing: you were talking about pressures and how the way he's moving around. You know that Dak Prescott is the 5th least pressured quarterback in the NFL right now. like
Really?
starting quarterback.
Really?
Yes. Is their offensive line any good? No, I mean, here or there, here or there. The only people above him right now are Tyson Bagnet, Derek Carr, Lamar Jackson, and Tua. That's it. Derek Carr got himself hurt. Lamar Jackson, he's playing good football, but they can't figure out how to close the game to save their life. And pretty easy to argue their offensive line is better.
Yep.
Tua's is definitely better.
Yep.
Jimmy G's was better.
Mm-hmm.
Stafford's was better. Josh Allen's is better. Burrow's is probably about the same tier as Dak's because it's been hit and miss over there.
Mm-hmm.
Mayfield, Dobbs, Goff, Herbie, Lawrence, Hurts, all those guys have been pressured more than Dak Prescott with what most people would consider a significantly better offensive line. And that goes back to him using his legs and it's not that he's not getting pressured. He's just getting the hell out of there versus taking a sack.
Exactly. He ain't waiting.
He's got 2 bats on the year. 2 and 4 throwaways. So if people want to talk about, he'll take a bad sack here or there. You know what? I'd rather my quarterback take 1 or 2, rather sack himself once or twice a game. I'm not talking 4 or 5 times a game. Once or twice a game, he sacks himself because he saw something that was going to open up. It didn't end up opening up. And people will get online and get mad about it during the game. It's like, you hadn't even seen the 22. You don't know if the mesh didn't work. You don't know if the dude got held. You don't even know. And you're just, quarterback sacked himself again. You know what? Cool. Because when he doesn't, it's going to be a 40-yard fucking play like when Dexter Lawrence cracked him. You know what I mean? That's what you want to see. And that confidence is back. And he's playing. I don't know if he's just that far removed from the leg. I don't know. I know that they've loosened up the reins on, he's never running again. You don't hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Even with this recent stretch that you're talking about, 90 yards in the recent games. This is typically when one of the Jones would be like, running quarterbacks, they tend to get hurt in this league, and Dak's history and this, that, and that. We would hear that. You're not hearing that.
Yep, not hearing that at all, and that's a great thing that you're not hearing that because I don't want to hear that. You feel me? I don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear anything they say, to be honest. I don't even.
I feel you. I don't want to hear nothing either. I'm gonna get this question out from my dog Los Holloway. It's a question. Y'all want to see more Jalen Brooks? Hell to the yeah. He looks smooth out there.
Yeah.
4 for 4 receptions, smooth hands. I mean, he looked fluid. We were digging Jalen Brooks in camp, and they put him in, and this is a rookie, and he looked like he didn't. Did he look like a rookie out there, big dog?
No, we talked about it during camp, and the only reason I haven't been pounding the table for him is because they've been having trouble even getting Cooks going. So what's bringing in this other, this random UDFA? What's that going to do? We can't get Cooks going. So you got Cooks going and you got Brooks going in the same game. So that was kind of sweet. You know what I mean? But that was absolutely beautiful, man. And Cooks was an absolute pro.
Man.
Maybe he needs to pull Micah to the side, which we'll get to him in a little bit. Maybe he needs to pull him to the side and have a conversation with him about, team success, because Brandon Cooks has been on some really good teams, and he's been on some really, really, really bad teams. And he had 1,000 yards in some of those seasons. Did it matter? So, but like I said, we'll get to that. It was absolutely lovely, and all of a sudden your run game works again. Tony Pollard's not washed. He's not busted. We don't need to go get
Rico down there. Rico.
Yep. I mean, we've been talking about that since last year,
dude.
Well, we wanted to swap out Dowdle and Zeke, but the problem is, remember he had that neck thing, so there was that issue. But the dude's explosive as all hell for as long as he stays up.
Yeah, man. Like I said, that was a beautiful thing. I'll get to this question from my dog Marcus, but that was a beautiful thing. Seeing, I loved when you sent me the tweet when we saw Dowdell get that big gain up the middle, and we're like, yeah, see what we're talking about. What he had, like 15 carries for like 79 yards, 12 carries for like 79 yards, averaged 6.6 yards a carry. That's the guy you want to run up the middle. And guess what? He gets the long gain inside the 20, right, Mike? And then guess what? You gave him the ball again right up the middle, and guess what happened? He scored. Guess what? You might be on something. You might be onto something, Mike McCarthy. You got a guy that can tote the rock inside that 20 for you, or definitely inside that 10. Give Rico Dowdell more carries. Going forward, y'all need to either split the carries, but this man needs to get at least 10 carries a game. No more of this 2-3 touches and then go out. This man needs to get 10 carries a game. And if you're trying to get to that next level, in my opinion, Mike, and I'm going to get your thoughts on this, you need those two backs. You need a two-back system, and you need a guy that can power that run. Tony Pollard is not that guy. Stop running him up the middle. He's not that guy. We've already seen it. He's a change of pace back. He's the guy that you get on the outside. He's the guy that you give toss sweeps to when you're doing the end rounds. You give the ball to him in that aspect. But if you want to get strong gains up that middle, tough yards, you need to go to Rico Dowdell, and you need to make that happen. What's your thoughts?
I mean, Pollard did have a nice 12-yard run right up the middle, right at them boys. And, you know, what upsets me is there's the people who want to hang their hat, the run truthers with the bell cow theory. You know, told you Tony Pollard couldn't handle it 30 times a game. I don't want the best running back in the league handling it 30 times a game.
Right.
I don't want to burn him out. I want that dude, if he's that damn, imagine Adrian Peterson when he was getting 15, 20 touches a game instead of 35 to 50. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How much longer does he last? How we can get him, we can have this dude for as long as we want him, essentially, because unless somebody's going to break the bank, then you go find another one. Running backs generally shouldn't even have names on the back of their jerseys. It's a harsh way to put it, but it's the way I see it. That Dowdell, Mattinson, I don't care. What can you do for me? Same thing as a linebacker. It's what we were asking for Bell. They finally now look. Hey, by the way, chug. But that's what your running back is supposed to be. Get these guys 15 to 20 touches. Who's ever hot in that 2 or 3 week span or month span,
that's
feed
who you
him
roll
more.
with. Yes.
And if he starts regressing, all right, well then we'll bump this other dude up,
right.
and we'll give him some reps.
Right.
This bell cow thing, it's like, oh, it wears the defense down. How the hell you think that? How do you
where's
think
the running back down?
How the hell do you think Zeke felt come January in the playoffs? And now I got to go play the Niners. Damn, dude, my legs falling off. My shoulder's been separated 2 times this season. I've probably got 6 concussions. I got to go fight these dudes right now, man. No, you want these dudes fresh. It's the thing that's Baltimore's done forever. Even when they had Ray Rice, they had to change. They shuffled it out. You got to keep these guys fresh because it's such a brutal position. It is such a brutal position now.
Yeah, I definitely totally agree with you. It's a brutal position, just like my homegirl Craven Cowboys. Mickey says Rico's legs are fresher too. Yeah, and that's great because he hasn't got no kind of burn. So now you're talking about the stretch run, right? So this is the time, and we had talked about this 4-game stretch where you had
let Pollard rest and let this dude let Rico get burned versus these top teams.
Yes, I mean that's just the fact right there. So if you Cowboys are ghost watching and you're listening, because I know a lot of y'all be ghost watching and listening and don't be talking, listen to this too, Cowboys, because we've been seeing y'all listening. Y'all been listening because as soon as we've been going ham, the changes start right now. So I like that. So if you're listening to this, you just seen Rico Dowdell turn up. I said he gets his first 100-yard game against these Carolina Panthers. Get this boy these carries, and like you said, let that man Tony Pollard get some rest because you're going to need that kind of speed and those things when you're coming to the playoffs. So you mix and match, and just like you said, Mike, you said it perfectly. Whoever's hot, give him the ball. If Rico Dowdell's hot, then Tony Pollard, sit down. Don't worry about him making $10 million a year. Don't worry about he's making that $10 million a year. We worried about wins. We ain't worried about the money. We worried about dubs, and we worried about trying to get to that next level. We can't be worrying about who's getting this and who's getting that, because guess what? When I saw the opening series, Big Mike, I saw CeeDee Lamb, I saw Brandon Cooks, and I saw Jalen Tolbert. Okay, that's what I saw. And even though Jalen Tolbert didn't, he didn't have a great statistical day, that didn't matter. the fact that he was on the field and the snaps are getting less, and I'm gonna commend Michael Gallup. Okay, I'm gonna give a big shout out to Michael Gallup because he didn't make a stink. You didn't hear him in the media talking and crying. He's a true pros pro. So I'm gonna give Michael Gallup hella props because I saw Jalen Brooks got those snaps, and guess what? Michael Gallup got big rewarded because that beautiful bomb and dime that Dak threw, Michael Gallup caught it. And what do we talk about, Mike? Hold on.
And guess what? I got something to add to that.
All right, go ahead.
So on that catch, you know that Michael Gallup was next gen stats fastest ball carrier of the week. He had 21.5 miles an hour on that ball.
Mm-hmm.
All this talk about him his legs being dead and stuff. He was just clocked out. He was suited up, but not clocked in. And I think that benching last week, shout out to McCarthy. I think that benching was like, oh fuck, they about to run me up. They about to run me up out of here. I might be over in Oakland catching ducks from Bonky G if I don't if I don't straighten some shit up right quick. So maybe that was what it was.
Yeah, but I also think too, Mike. I just feel like Michael Gallup now is the secondary guy. So I think Michael Gallup is better when you're with CeeDee Lamb is killing it. You got Brandon Cooks involved, Jalen Tolbert. Now they're not concerned about Michael Gallup, right? He's coming out there. He was the starter. Now they're not concerned about Michael Gallup. So what happens? You're not concerned about Michael Gallup. Now Michael Gallup is better, Mike. You feel me? Michael Gallup is better because now he's not the focal point of going out there on the offense starting and we feel like we got to give him the ball. No. You put him in that back burner, let him just chill, and then guess what? That's when we'll see, damn, look at Michael Gallup turning up. You know why? Because he's not that main guy out there. He's a secondary guy, and when you approach it like that, now I think he'll get better burn, and I think he'll be a better player. But to your point, I think the bitching always wakes people up because now you're saying, oh, shoot, if they keep going, because if he keep going with that, I might not get on the field anymore. And then when Jalen Brooks put that pressure on you, now what do they say? Pressure brings out competition, brings out the best in you.
There's steam coming out that son of a bitch. So, and that's the absolute thing. And even that pass, Michael, as fast as he ran, he had no separation. Dak dropped that thing into
that was a dime, right? Because that dude was on him.
Who was on him? He was on him like a son of a bitch. And this ties back into when we first started doing this and the Michael Gallup contract was coming up, and I was like, don't pay that man. You do not pay mid-tier wide receivers. You do the Pittsburgh Steelers thing. You just keep churning and burning these dudes. And, they messed up with Juju. They broke their own rule, but then they got him up out of there as soon as they could. You churn it. You draft a wide receiver in the first 3 days, first 2 days, every single year. Every single year. And there's a better than not chance that wide receiver that you drafted will have a better return than whatever random tight end you wanted to pick up there.
For sure. Now I'm gonna get a couple questions in here. I'm gonna get your thoughts on it, and I'll give my thoughts on it. TJ Del Brugge, if I said it right, if I mispronounce it, I apologize. He says, "What's your thoughts on Martavius Bryant?"
Speed guy for the practice squad. That's
what I feel too, because you already got a Jalen Brooks, you already got Jalen Tolbert. You got a guy that's been out the league for 4 years. You're not pushing him on the no.
And there's a better than not chance his hamstrings come apart when he has to open it up consistently. There's a big difference between a couple of videos. And
yeah, for sure. And the good thing about it is, though, what I do like about this pickup, in my opinion, is that if you have a couple injuries, you have him right there. And I know he's not going to be a guy you want to rely on, but I like to have that in my hip pocket just in case, because you never know. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I like about it, that he's a reserve and you keep him on reserve. And if anything happens to, your third or fourth guy, your fourth or fifth guy, then you got a guy right there. If your fourth or fifth guy comes down right there that you can do red zone with, you don't have to highlight him. Get him in when you get inside that 20, get him in that red zone, use that big body, get him those fade routes, 50-50 balls. Let's see what happens. That's what I like about that more than anything else.
My personal opinion is I think it was a CJ Goodwin move.
As in?
as in Fossil has ties to him, and you're talking about a big body guy who's not. I mean, he's old as hell. He was he was a pretty good receiver when he was actually active, but he's old, but relatively still fast, or they wouldn't have signed him. And a big body dude, and you lost C.J. Goodwin. I think that you have a backup, punt gunner at best. If you lose somebody or something like that. That's what I believe his plan is. I don't think his plan is to ever take a wide receiver snap.
All right. So Camber asked a question. I'm sorry, Camber, if I didn't get that out, but Camber asked a question as well. Shout out to you, Camber. How you doing? Any thoughts on why they aren't using Luepke?
He's been getting snaps, but I mean, what are you going to do when you can't get your running backs going? Are you going to feed that? Are you going to feed that fullback? I don't. He's been getting special team snaps. He's been getting relevant snaps. It's just there's only so much ball. Not to sound like one of the Jones boys, but there's only so much ball to go around. And I mean, hell, between Lamb and Cooks, you had damn near 300 yards of offense, or over 300 yards of offense last week.
Right.
So it's one of those things. Now, I wish they would have brought him in the week before when Terrence Steele was over there getting break speed off of him, and they didn't bring him in. There was no adjustment there. So there's that. But I don't know. Like, I would like to see him used. I would like to see him used on the goal line, but they went 6 of 7 in the red zone last week, and that failed red zone attempt was because of uncalled DPI. It's like I would love to see it. I would love to see him be used. I just don't know what you do with him at this point.
Right.
As far as you going to take a target away from Fergie, you going to take a target away from Pollard or Dowdle, and I'd like maybe a direct snap type thing on a 2-point conversion. I would love to see some Andy Reid shit like that with him.
Or a quick screen game. Let him block, hit him in a screen game.
Man, we've ran 2 successful screenplays since October of 1997, and you know that we can't run a.
I don't know. I think we need to stay with it a little more because I've seen us do a lot better this year with a little bit of when they try the screen game. We're not just getting blown in the backfield every single time. I think they're a little bit more tricky with it. But the thing with me is with Hunter, if you put him in that backfield, have him blocked down, and then hit him with a quick screen, I don't think they're going to be looking for him. So I think that's where he can get some sneaky touches right there. Or just like we talked about, if we get inside that red zone, we're inside the 5-yard line, put him in there. You know what I'm saying? Let him get that
direct snap.
That's the best time.
They would absolutely not.
They would know what to do. Snap. They would not expect a direct snap to Hunter Luepke. They'd be mine.
Yep. That's it. That's I ripped that straight out of Andy Reid's playbook. He's been running that play since freaking 1992. I bet if we pulled the numbers, he scored more than 70% of the time on that play because they do not expect that when you're sitting there in that formation and it's to the fullback. And, maybe Dak has to do a little bit of lead blocking, but, win football games,
For sure. So Camber asked another question. It says, and this is funny, can we talk about who the hell is that Noah Brown in Houston and where the hell was he last season? I mean, hey, he's turning up over there.
He got benched. No, like this offseason. I'm not saying obviously he's turning up in Houston.
But they don't have nobody in Houston too. I mean,
and CJ Stroud's my MVP.
Legit. He's legit.
Dude, that's my MVP vote right now.
He's legit.
If we were to do the old Sierra's husband Week 10 MVP thing right now, that would be my MVP if the season ended. Going into Week 11. Dude's unreal.
And DeMeco Ryans has to get votes for Coach of the Year too.
Yeah, because that's a defensive coach. You would expect him to. All right, I got this rookie quarterback, and I don't have big name wide receivers.
Right.
We're going to do the Mike McCarthy thing. We're going to run it on 70% of the downs. And no, come to find out, hey, let's see what you got, kid. And we got nothing to lose because there was already talk of him being a placeholder head coach.
Right.
You know what I mean? Same thing with Arizona. So they're going to fuck around and make the playoffs, dude. They really will.
I know.
If they make the playoffs with CJ Stroud,
they'll be dangerous.
Dude, that's
They'll be
That's my MVP.
dangerous.
That's my MVP. That he really is. I know. Now it's week 10. Once again, week 11, if you will. But at this point, there's nobody playing better than him.
Yeah, he's balling out. And shout out to my guy, Popeye Peach 187. Shout out for the $2 Holly says, should Rico get running back one snaps? We kind of hit that. We're both in the same theory of whoever's hot. Okay. If you give that ball to Tony Pollard and he's turning up that series, keep rolling with him. You sub him out and you let Rico Dowdell come in and he breaks off a couple big runs, then guess what? You stay with Rico Dowdell. I don't think we should worry about who's number running back 1 and who's running back 2 right now.
Take the names
running
off.
Game. You take the names off. Take the names off. Take the money off. Yep. Not even the name, the money, because the money is what will really keep Tony Pollard in there. Take that away.
That's what kept Pollard in a freaking doghouse when Zeke was making $25 million a year.
Right. Exactly. So that's the mindset and the theory. Now, my guy Marcus had a question. I'm trying to find it and pull it up, but he asked, I want to ask you. He said, what was Micah mad about?
His numbers.
Because he had no pressures, no sacks, no hits on the quarterback in that Giants.
Meanwhile, our starting quarterback, was on the bench in the fourth quarter because his day was done. And you're upset. You got to grow up, kid. I told you we were going to get the Micah. You got to grow up.
He's got to grow up right now because you can't be a stat chaser, big dog. Like I get it, but you could tell he was visibly frustrated in that game, visibly upset in that game. And like I said, he's not at that edge. He was playing that linebacker position. And, hey, you're playing more of the backer. You're not going to get those sacks like that.
He closed down a pass. Like, he had a good game.
He did have a good game. He was active.
What he could have done, and this is what I've talked about for since he started the pod, and how he's constantly online. He's putting himself out there. He's going to get burned up. So he could have came out and said, he had that tweet. He said, I've never been this speechless in a long time. What he could have said is, shout out to the Giants for doing everything they could to stop me, and then just posted the scoreboard. That's the mentality, because the reason your defense dominated was because of you. You didn't get these numbers.
They went into the game and said Micah Parsons is not going to beat us.
That dude will not beat us.
That's what they said.
These other dudes may, but that dude will not beat us. And it's upset. It's not upsetting. That's a strong word, but it's annoying. And it also sucks that these kids got to grow up in real time and in front of everybody,
and right in front of our eyes because of social media.
Yeah. So, and the fact that he's constantly putting himself out there, man. Like, I'm nobody. I'm literally nobody. I'm some random jerk off of the Twitter account. And there are times I won't do a Dak tweet because I just don't want to deal with the nonsense behind it. And this dude has probably 150,000 times the followers I do. And that's when you constantly put your voice and your name out there, and you have a platform where people can reach you because there's comments open on this podcast, and he's always on scrolling on Twitter. It's not a good combination. You're getting wrapped up in your own identity versus what your team just did. And I'd be lying if I said it wasn't annoying.
Yeah, but like I said, I won't give him any excuse, but I will say, like you said, he's still growing up. He's still very young.
For sure.
He's still very young. He's still growing up. He's still learning. So we can't expect, him to have all of it together, all the answers. So, I'm not putting that pressure on Micah or anything like that. But,
he needs to stop putting it on himself.
But it is what it is. You can't say that now because he has the podcast. Ain't going away. So he's just
No,
got to figure out how to
he signed
manage
a
this because it's
5-year
in
contract with Bleacher Report.
it's in the deal, and I don't see him removing himself away from Twitter because, like you said, he's a voice in the NFL, so he's not going to stop. So he's got to figure out how to manage this the right way. So he can continue to still be dominant and have that side, because obviously that side is not going anywhere. So we can't say, hey, put that down, because he's not. So he's gonna have to figure that out to adjust to it and make it work, because now, like you said, everybody's coming at you. They watch your podcast, and every time you don't have a good game, guess what? They're gonna come on your podcast now and say you suck. I mean, that's just what they will do now. I mean, we've already seen on 105.3 The Fan where they said, is Micah slowing down? So they're already throwing that out there in Dallas Lane. You think they won't throw it in his podcast? It'll happen. So he's got to be able to manage that himself.
And, it's the only thing that bothers, like, his personal life is personal life, this, that, and the other. But what worries me is he carrying that into game day? And is that mindset going to transfer, into Sunday and Monday and Thursday coming? And are you going to check out because you're still young, and unfortunately, and
yeah, for sure.
Everybody, people love, he's 23, he's an adult. Man, nobody under 25 is a fucking adult,
right? Especially a man.
It's your aliens take your brain away on your 13th birthday if you're a man, and you get it back on your 25th if you're lucky. That whole period in between there is just a chaotic mess. And then you add money and coddled athlete syndrome and all that on top of it. It's a hot. I mean, that's a lot to climb.
It's a lot to climb for sure, but hopefully he'll manage it. But the good thing about it is, like I said, we got a stretch of some bad teams, so hopefully it'll work itself out. So I'm gonna give us a bunch of questions right quick before we get up off of here. But we got a question from my guy Carlos. Thoughts on Sam Williams getting more playing time?
Been playing good, been playing clean, which has been nice. He's been playing good, been playing clean.
He needs to continue to get more reps, as well as Dante Fowler, because he's been doing that damn thing as well, and he hasn't been slowing down. So I'm glad to see Fowler in there as well. So I agree with that. Go ahead.
I would love to see the other highly paid player on the defensive line do something when he's playing opposite of Micah Parsons, who's playing triple, quadruple, guys at a time.
Yeah, well, we ain't gonna mention that because we already know about what that is. So I got another good one right here. This is what I've been kind of screaming. I don't know how you feel about it, but this is how I feel about it. Can we activate Trey Lance now so we can see some? Yes, I think you should activate him against that Carolina Panthers. You don't need to see Cooper Rush, in my opinion. We know what Cooper Rush is, Mike. I'm sorry. We know what Cooper Rush is. Why do we need to continue to see Cooper Rush? I feel like you're playing a one-in-whatever Carolina Panthers. They are not a good team at all. They're going through all kind of turmoil. In my opinion, this is a perfect game for you to activate him, take him off as the emergency, put Cooper Rush as that, and make Trey Lance your second string quarterback. Because my thing is, let's say, God forbid, something happens to Dak. I don't give a hell. That was last year what Cooper Rush did. I don't have no confidence like Cooper Rush all like that he going, just because he did that last year, he going to come in here and do it again. I don't believe that. I'm sorry, I don't. And I want to see what Trey Lance looks like. So I will put him at the second quarterback, especially in this Carolina game. And if we're blowing them boys out, I want to see him. That's just me. Your thoughts?
I don't disagree. The reason they picked up Trey Lance is they were tired of not being able to stop a mobile quarterback. And they brought him in to run that on the practice squad and run these guys sideline to sideline and learn how to set the edge, remember how to set the edge. And I don't disagree, by the way. Like, hell, we know what Cooper Rush is. He's garbage. I mean, we saw it. The dude came in, Dak was flambeing the hell out of that Giants team. And then they brought in Cooper Rush. We couldn't even get a goddamn field goal. So right. We know what the dude is, and it's just they also know what he is. So it's the devil, so to speak. He's not going to go in there and lose a game for you. They don't know what Trey Lance is. Nobody does. the team that drafted him didn't even know what the hell he was because he had like 100 snaps in his freaking college career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Like I said, they need to put him out there on the field, period, and especially in this game.
I would have preferred to see him, last week
Last week is
versus.
some Giants. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why not?
Yep. Yep.
Because Giants had given up by that point. They pulled
Yep.
their starters too. It was
That would have
basically
been the perfect game for us to see him. And we had talked about it on the final word, and I gave a little pushback because I was like, you know how them fans is, they start screaming for him if that. But the way the Giants are, we've been owning them. That would have been the perfect game. But to me,
yeah.
Carolina is the perfect game. Put Trey Lance as your second quarterback in this game. Put Cooper Rush away, because at the end of the day, as I said before, I'd rather go try with Trey Lance if something, God forbid, if something happened to Dak. I'd rather Trey Lance, we see what Trey Lance is and let him get reps than Cooper Rush, because you have a better chance, in my opinion, with Trey Lance to win a game than Cooper Rush. That's just period, point blank, in my opinion. But let me get this question out from King Kazan AMVs. He says, do you think if Dan would have put Micah at linebacker first year, he would have been more better at the position versus just being an edge rusher? Nah, I don't think so.
The dude was a faster Jalen Smith, and I've gotten, my history with folks online with Micah and that pick.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's not. People assume that if, like, I've even seen it this year when we lost an edge rusher, and they go, "Hey, we're going to move Micah to, we lost Sam Williams. We're going to move Micah to linebacker." No, people thought he was going to be Fred Warner. No, his tape wasn't that. He was living off of how good of an athlete he is. You got him at edge, the way more valuable position. He is literally eating up 60 to 70% of the offensive focus on any given snap he's in. You see the effects of that. I don't give a shit if the box score numbers don't show up. I don't give a shit if he cries on his podcast. That dude is a reason this defense will dominate, because you can't cover anymore. You lost Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs will be more important than Micah forever and ever, because coverage is the most important thing you could do in the modern NFL. If you can cover, these mid-tier edge rushers can get home. Bill Belichick proved that for the last 25 freaking years. That dude needs to stay on the edge. Period. You don't want him out there playing linebacker.
I agree. I understand what the thought pattern was, but he's just a better player on the edge. And you move him around on the edge all you want to, but he's a better player on the edge. And I think Dan needs to go back to that, because it takes some bite out of our defense. That was the Giants. So of course we're going to do that. But other teams, no, we need that pressure from him, because that pressure from him opens the door for other people. And that's why you need to keep him on that edge, in my opinion. And we got a question from Lee Norm. He says, if Trey gets to play and plays well, could Dallas get a pick for him if they wanted to?
If he plays and plays well, why would you want to pick for him? You already gave up some
You
points.
feel me? I don't want no pick. I don't think they do that anyway.
You're not gonna get the return that you want. And not that they gave up any, what they gave up for him doesn't matter to me at all. It's not, throwaway picks. But if he does play well and you gave up throwaway picks for him, you're like, hey, wait a second. And then maybe you gave him a couple preseason games and he plays better. And then maybe somebody wants to actually give something up for him. If that's the scenario you're talking about, I'm all for it. But any team is going to have to see more than 40 freaking preseason snaps to get a beat on a guy they want to trade picks to make it matter for.
Right. Well, like I said, in my opinion, as far as that situation, the Joneses, in my opinion, they're looking at possibly the future if Dak isn't there forever. And to me, Trey Lance is a guy that you should keep. He's still young. Dak is not going to be there forever. He's 30 years old. So to me, you keep Trey Lance. I'm just saying, dog. I'm just saying you keep Trey Lance as long as you can, in my opinion. Y'all ain't killing yourself on the cap if you take that year on his rookie deal. You're not killing yourself if you do that. That's not hurting you.
The Trey Lance thing has nothing to do with that. That's my only divider right there. The Trey Lance thing is smart from a team perspective, but it has nothing to do with Dak whatsoever. And if it does, the people running your team have monkey brain.
So what's your thoughts on from Revel 95? Thoughts on Mazi this week?
He's been playing good all year, and he's finally starting to put a little bit of film on tape, that shows what he's doing. There's a reason that this defensive line has been solid. I talked about it like the Cowboys.
Jonathan Hankins too.
Yes,
He's been
sir.
balling. Jonathan Hankins.
The Cowboys fan base isn't used to one tech play. We're not. The last time we had it was Ratliff, and that was like 9 games or something like that. And then we got Hankins, and he still gasses out because you're 340, 350 pounds playing football. You need somebody to spell you. And what you don't see is these quarterbacks stepping up into a free passing lane and launching 30, 40 yards downfield and killing you on third down because you blitzed and you blew penetration and your edge rusher didn't get home. And now all the dude steps up and bingo bango. I thought Mazi Smith. Now I'm frustrated that it's the same thing with Parsons as far as the pick goes, that there was a different direction I would have went, and that will always be hell. This goes back to the Tyler Smith thing, or Zach Martin, Aaron Donald thing. I'm sorry. It goes all the way back to that. It's like, what do you do? You pick this absolute monster he happens to be on the other side of the line, and I think he is doing exactly what they drafted him to do.
Mm-hmm. And I think he's gonna continue to get better. Better, and that's what
absolutely.
I like to see. He's not degressing; he's increasing, and he's progressing.
He's 21 years old.
Right. And we all know that defensive linemen always take at least a year or two, possibly 3 years to kick in.
And if you're good at what you do, especially the interior, you tend to have a 10 to 15 year career. They took a 10-year player with that pick, and that's my saving grace on that, because I would have went in a different direction, but no big deal. No big deal. I love that they finally addressed DT. I love that they finally addressed it.
And we've been doing a lot better in the running game. Definitely, I felt good. What I looked at, and I know Jalen Hurts was a little hobbled, but the fact that we shut down their run game, especially your boy who's the Swift, we really shut down DeAndre Swift, and that made me feel good because that's the one player I was worried about. Him getting out on the outs. I thought he was going to kill us, and Dallas did a hell of a job in that game on him and the run game as a whole. So that's what we've been screaming, Mike. Shut down that run game. So it's been a beautiful
4 inches. Thing. We were 4 inches away from winning that game. 4 inches.
Yeah, for sure.
That game. A lot of people were mad as hell about that, man. I'm not. That you went up against a really good, arguably
still should have beat him. Still should have beat him.
For sure.
Got to close games. So that's just me. That just keeps going in my head. We got to close games against these top teams. We got to finish. You finish, you win. But check this one out. This is from King Kazin too, Mike. Thoughts on LVE and the linebacker depth?
LVE is never going to play football again.
I believe that.
We should be okay.
I like
Evans and Cox.
I like Evans. Evans was physical, and that's what we liked about him. He's not a coverage guy, but he's a physical guy in the run game. He's a tackling machine, and I think he adds a little bit of the physicality at the linebacker position. He was a guy that I wanted in July Nobody was talking about him. He was a guy said the Cowboys should look at picking up. They did. And I think as the season progresses, Mike, I think he's going to be an asset to the team. Rashaan Evans is. And I like that pickup. So I think the depth is okay. I like the Rashaan Evans pickup. And I think they're going to continue to see how the matchups go in the defensive game of where they'll put Micah. You feel me? You got Sam Williams, Dorrance Armstrong Jr., Dante Fowler. You got it's really the matchups. How is this matchup looking this game? Do we need to attack Micah on the edge? So that's the good thing about having a Micah or whatever, because you can mix and match. You can look at the matchup this game. Okay, you know what? We're going to put Micah in the edge this game because we just feel like he's going to kill these people. And that's the good thing about having a Micah Parsons and a lot of good guys on the edge. You can mix and match these guys and always be in attack mode with them. And I think Dan is going to continue to figure that out as the season goes. So, Jamon, is it Jamin, Cal? I don't know if it's Jamin or Jamon. Jamion. There you go.
I'm sorry.
I'm taking a guess too. So if we messed it up, I apologize.
I'm white as shit and country as hell, so I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
I think I got it.
Yeah, I
think
Cleveland. He asked, will Cooks continue to stay involved? That's the $1 million question. I think he'll stay involved in this. This is all I'm gonna say, Mike, and I'm gonna let you go. I think you'll see him in these lesser teams. But where I need to see all this stuff that we've been seeing, the land of milk and honey, when we play Seattle again, when we play the Eagles again, and when we play Buffalo, and we play Miami, and we play Detroit, this is what I want to see when we play those teams. Because if you go in a shell against these teams, I'm gonna be pissed and be like, "You see, dude, you just pump faking us, and I don't believe you." So this is what Mike McCarthy has to show. Do it against them tough teams, not against just these lesser squads.
And that's the saving. I know we railed on.
He said, "There you go, Mike. So you good? You got it."
So we railed on them, and I caught a lot of heat for their plan going into Philadelphia. They planned on that run game. They bailed from it early. The fact that they bailed from it and haven't went back to it gives me a little bit of hope. It's like
a little bit of hope.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. So maybe our best chance of winning the football game is to score points.
Yeah. And
bold
guess what?
Concept.
And
bold
guess
concept,
what?
I know.
The quarterback is balling right now. And guess what? The offense is different when you don't have to run, pass, when you're actually throwing, like you said, on first down, second down, when you're actually attacking and being aggressive. Once again, we'll say that again. We're being aggressive, Mike. We're not being conservative. Conservative don't win games. Just trying to get out there with the win.
Terrible offensive line. With a terrible offensive line.
That's compromised. I ain't going to say it's terrible. I'm going to say it's compromised. It ain't terrible. We've seen terrible offensive line. Dallas offensive line is not terrible, Mike.
Okay, so let me say that 60% of the NFL's offensive line is terrible. So,
could be, but we ain't terrible. We ain't terrible, bro. It's not great. We're mid-level. I say we're at least in the top 10.
Yeah, but this ties back into Dak's pressure stats.
Right.
The fact the dude's pressured the fourth least of any quarterback in the NFL. The dude's playing at a different level. And had they not lost that game to the Cardinals, may have a little bit of conversation about MVP.
Don't mention that damn Cardinals game to me, because I keep thinking about it every damn day.
Imagine if we came out with that offense versus them. So that's the backhanded, the bittersweet part of all this. It's like
we had to go through that for that to happen. But you knew better. You knew better.
Dak's going into his 8th year as a quarterback and 9th year as a quarterback, and now we can finally admit that maybe he can throw the football.
And maybe he can run an offense. So back up and just let him do it. Because when you backed up and let him do it, look what happened with the team. You're averaging 30 points a game. And all that suspect talk, the offense is going to miss Kellen Moore. We're going to take a regression and this and that. We could if you say conservative. But if you be aggressive, put the game in your quarterback's hand, like you said, look what's happening. Be smart, Mike. But let's get this one out here from Popeye Peach 187 here too, Mike. $5 holla. Hey ho, it's a $5 holla. Said, did y'all see the media finally admit nobody cares about other teams? Cowboys move the ratings. Fans should open their eyes now on the Dak hate. Yes, we knew that, but it was good to hear them admit it. Like Josh Allen. Nobody cares about listening to Josh Allen because nobody cares about the damn Buffalo Bills. Everybody cares about the Dallas Cowboys. We're the lightning rod. And Dak Prescott will be talked about every day. And I'm glad Stephen A. Smith, I don't listen to him or anything like that, but I heard the excerpt and he's the truth. He said, nobody cares about them other teams and nobody cares about them other players. And that's why they don't talk about them. And that's just the facts. But the fact of the matter is, in real life, if we ain't talking about it in real life, I don't even got to feel that no more because Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, those guys that they pump up, you feel me? You feel me? Like, you feel me? And all that interception hate that we got last year from Dak Prescott, ain't nobody talking about it now, huh?
Hey, and
They
guess
don't
who
want to.
Josh Allen get?
Hey, Mike. Before you finish that, you know what's funny? I want you to finish that after this. It's funny because now that interception talk is away from Dak, right? They're scared to talk about interceptions.
Now
They
now,
are
now we want
scared.
qualifiers.
They do
Now
not
we
want
want qualifiers. No, it bounced here. The barometer was 73%, and there was actually a car crash, and the freeway was shut down, and it messed with the it
Yeah.
messed with.
Nobody's talking about interceptions now.
Now they don't.
They
Now
dance
they
around that subject so much they don't want to speak on the interception because they know what's going to come back in their faces. But you was talking about Dak interception. They don't want to talk about it because they was killing Dak all last year. So them networks and nobody wants to touch
keep
that.
that same energy. Hey, you know what's
They
funny
don't
is
want
watching
to
people
do it.
like I. I I don't want to rail on Josh Allen because I actually think he's having a tough time mentally right now.
I like Josh Allen.
And he didn't rehab that elbow because he was hanging out with his LA girlfriend. But that's an off the record conversation we need to have. And
Hey man, why don't you send me some of that drink? I want some. Damn.
I'll PayPal it to you. Be there Tuesday.
Thank you. Because you killing that drink. I'm like, man, I'm looking over at that drink like, I want some of that, dog. You drinking it like it tastes so damn good. It looks good. I want some of it.
Yeah, silver tequila. That's good stuff.
Ooh, I know.
So
You drinking it like it's good as hell.
that man, it is really it is funny as hell to see. Now all of a sudden, then Jalen Hurts started throwing interceptions. Like, well, no, you don't understand. It bounced off, and it hit, and there was a field goal, and
It
the
bounced off
win.
his hand. It bounced off his hands. No, don't you say that. Don't you say that. It
No,
can't. No,
no.
don't you say it bounces off fingers or tips
I
or
watched
nothing.
Noah Brown
Don't do
catch a
that.
pass 2 times, and it still ended up in the defense's hands.
Now we don't talk about it. Michael Gallup. Those guys. Now we ain't talking about it.
No.
Now, before we get off here, let's talk about CeeDee Lamb. And matter of fact, he's got 68 catches with only one damn drop. One damn drop. I showed his stats. Eight drops his first year, 8 drops his second year, 6 drops his third year, 1 drop right now. CeeDee Lamb is playing on a whole different level. Let's talk about that right quick before we close, Mike. How do you feel about CeeDee Lamb, dog?
My man has showed up. That's
It feels
the
good.
dude.
Yeah, it feels
I don't
good.
like the way he approached it. I
I
can't
don't care. Hey, I don't care. Get mad. I
let
want
him
the
know.
ball. I want the ball. Give me the ball.
Like, y'all took me in the first round, right?
Yeah.
So you thought I was good, right?
You gave me 88.
You gave didn't give me. You forced it.
Remember, he wanted number 2. He wanted the number 2. We was feeling that.
He didn't want.
Harry said, "I want you to take 88." He said, "I don't know." He said, "No, you taking 88."
They paid him to take 88, dude. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, that dude is on fire. And if you remember when we went to the bye week, the pod we did, I said, you need to run this offense. I tweeted about it too. Run this offense like Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers. You see that man right there? That man's going to get the ball. Do whatever you can to stop it. If you want to stop it, I got my man's Jen Rummy over here. I got my man's. And then turned out they had Cooks too. Because guess what happened? They started taking that safety over, sliding him over a little bit, and next thing you know, bingo bongo, that's when that Cooks. That's exactly when that
Man,
Cooks play happened.
Yep.
And
they gotta keep.
quarterback.
Go ahead.
My quarterback stood in there and took a 334-pound man
hit,
straight to the ribs.
And shout out to Dak for being his toughness, because that hit, he was on the ground. I mean, he was.
He shit.
He was.
He shitted himself, dude.
He got blasted because he was sucking wind, and he got up, monster. But going forward, just like I think Kyle said, bro, Cooks got to stay involved, because that offense with Cooks, Ferguson, CeeDee Lamb, you get Hendershot back. You seen Jalen Brooks, Jalen Tolbert, dog, it's explosive. Please, Mike McCarthy, if y'all watching this, if y'all ghost watching it, do not regress. Do not take steps backwards. Stay moving forward for this team if you want to have a chance in these playoffs. If you revert back to that old style, you're going to get bounced early. You better stay aggressive. Die on that hill. Die on the aggressive hill. Die on the attacking hill. I'd rather die on that hill, Mike. I'd rather die on that hill than die on the conservative, scary hill. Don't do that. Stay aggressive. You'll have a better chance in these playoffs. Period.
I'd rather lose with 400 yards and 4 interceptions than 100 yards and 0 interceptions.
You feel me?
Give me a chance. Give me a chance, man. Your best defense is a high-powered offense.
Yes.
Put these dudes on their heels. Ask any defensive coordinator in the history of football.
Keep that pressure on them. They don't
how
like
he
that.
How he feels about playing with a 2-possession lead. Oh, you mean I got Micah Parsons in them and I got a 2-possession lead? Man, we've seen Danny DeVito, and I know he's Danny DeVito and he lives in his mama's house and he eats lasagna. But that man was scared for his life.
I bet them eyeballs as big as I bet his eyeballs was bigger than my glasses. He was probably like this. Like when that rush came at him, he was like, "Oh shit!"
Dude, it's like standing at the start line of Daytona and you standing in the middle of it and you just drop the green flag and all them cars is coming at you.
That's what it was. That's what it was. That's what it was.
And if you have it, I talked about this. If you have it, you do. It's not if. You do have an NFL offense that is capable of scoring 30 anytime they go out. Mm-hmm. Anytime they line up, they are capable of scoring 30. If you have an offense that's capable of scoring 30, you have a good chance of winning that game. Score your points. Score your points.
Keep that pressure on.
Don't think about, we'll get the points in the second half. No, get your points.
We're getting the points at any time. We're scoring. We're trying to score you every single
time.
Go
look at the amount of points the Chiefs have scored in the second half this year. I bet you'd be shocked. I know the number. It ain't good. It ain't good at all. Because but they got out in front.
Oh, we can
beat
their
them, defense.
Man. That's when I'm looking at this team right now. Please do the right thing, Mike. Don't regress. I'm looking at these other teams. We can beat anybody. And I'm not even going to get hyped. But, dog, just don't do it. That's all I'm going to say. So, we're getting ready to close here because I got to get my food, dog. I'll cook some pork.
Yeah, I'm starving. I'm hungry tomorrow.
I'm about to smash. My boo thing is setting me up. About to fix my plate because I'm about to go live again. But I appreciate you, Mike. As always, another fire show. You know how we do. Any kind of last words before you get off here, big dog?
No, I appreciate everybody coming through. Let's stay on the gas, get that first down pass. I appreciate everybody coming through, celebrating the first down pass. We made it. I told you what we would see if we made it happen, and look at us making it happen, man.
Facts.
That's, like if they did it and it didn't work, I would come on here and eat crow.
Right.
They did it,
we both would. Yeah. Facts. My dog.
Avoid third down. Avoid third down.
Avoid third down. Yes. It's easy. Feel me? My dog, Mike White. You see it at the bottom right there. Not to be tried. PayPal. Go follow him on Twitter. His tweets are funny as shit. Go follow his Twitter. He's funny as hell on Twitter. I love he the stuff that he says on Twitter. Just be funny as hell. You keep me laughing, big dog. But I appreciate you like always. Another fire show in the books. Let's go get that big dub. Let's get these starters out early. Let's hopefully see some Trey Lance. Let's do all kind of crazy stuff in that Carolina Panthers game as we get ready for that Thanksgiving game. But let's go. Let's beat the brakes off them Carolina Panthers and continue to show that the Cowboys are one of the better teams in the league. I'll talk to you soon, Big Mike. Appreciate you. Burgers and Blitzes,
Peace.
my dog.
Thank y'all.
Peace. My dog, Mike White. Hey. Like I said, selfish plug. What's up, sis? How you doing, Miss Charles? How you doing? I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you. I hope everything's good with you, Miss Charles. Glad to see you, sis. One last thing before I get off of here, and I'm gonna post it again. We have the GoFundMe. My boo thing's been putting it in the description. You can check the link in the description. I just posted right here for the GoFundMe. Our stepdaughter Natalia, well, my stepdaughter, her daughter, Natalia Weston. We're trying to get her to Italy and Greece, man. She deserves it. She's a 3.9 student. She's an honor student. She's killing in the band. She's a great young lady. Come on, man. She needs to get this. Yes, trip is $6K, man, but ain't nothing cheap. I've lived overseas. I've been to Germany, Philippines, Alaska, born in New Mexico, Japan, all those spots. Been there. Nothing like going overseas and live overseas, especially as a young person. I lived all overseas when I was young. Loved it. Never forget the experience. It's one of the best things that ever happened to me in my young life. So please go check out that GoFundMe. Please donate whatever you can. We love it. We're trying to get her to Italy and Greece so she can get the experience of a lifetime. Y'all can make that happen, and we would appreciate it if you do. Make sure you go check out my page. My show might be back up because I'm jumping on here with the Boss Candy show. That's coming up in about 20 minutes, 19 to be exact. Myself, Boss Cowboys, Miss Candy, they got a two female show. It's a banger. They asked me to come on. I'm going to jump on. We're going to talk some more football. So make sure if my channel comes back up, you get right back on it, and let's talk some more football with Boss Cowboys and Candy. I'm going to go grab my food. I'm going to go smash it right quick, but we'll be right back. I appreciate everybody for the questions. I appreciate everybody for the donations, and I appreciate everybody for the love that you always give Big Game James. I love y'all more than y'all know. I appreciate y'all, and I'll be talking to you soon. Big Game James, we are out. Yes, and my cousin is at LSU, number 21 Savage, baby, Ryan Yates. Freshman, dog, beast, getting time, getting that work already as a true freshman in that safety position. He will be a starter next year. Please don't forget the name, Ryan Yates, number 21 for LSU. He will be the starting safety next year as a true sophomore for LSU. And we're feeling he's going to go to the league. Let's get it, man. Talk to y'all soon. It's out. Peace. Yes, and that's my cousin. We gone. And one last thing. Ain't no other Yateses out there but the YAI, the TES. Peace.